evening, and welcome to London by Gaslight, a late Victorian age vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in 1892. Awakening, for the night in the City of London this week, is Eveline, the daughter of Cacophony, portrayed by Miss Hartz. Please do arouse check to awaken from your torpor state. In a hunger. Aldrich of the clan of Shapers, portrayed by Bully from Tablegoth. Please do arouse check to awaken from your torpor state. You also gain a hunger. Thurston of the Nosferatu, portrayed by Nitro Taipat. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor slumber. No surprises there, you gain a hunger. And special guest this week, Ashley, from the Clan of the Shadow, portrayed by Sykeshire. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor state. Wonderful. We start this week in the main Elysium. The coterie have met up with Ashley after they received a telegram from her asking to meet so that they may proceed with their investigation into Dracula. Elysium is fairly busy for the night. They can see Pandora sat down, quietly enjoying a drink, and Dirk sat on his own in the shadows. They all sit around a table with Ashley at the head as she begins to explain why she has summoned them for the night.
I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. It is a pleasure to see you guys again from the last time that we met. It is of great importance that we take the time to discuss something that's been going on that has been of grave interest to Mithras.
Right, go on.
Basically, there's a young lady who has come up missing. She's of grave importance to the prince. It is believed that there is a chance that she has been taken and that Dracula may have something to do with this. We know that Dracula has a tendency to take brides. And we've also received some information that there's a chance he may be held up in a particular location. Mithras has asked me to gather all of you so that we might find out if this young lady might be within his grasp or not, and to figure out what he's up to, what is he doing in the city.
I'd like to have a chat with him myself. And if we could do some a favor for Mithras on the way, by all means. I hope you have a very strong starting point for it, because looking around at the two with me, we're not exactly the best at, investigating and finding people. So if you could just give us a good direction to start, we'll get what you need.
We do fine.
Right.
We have gathered some information. There's a particular location. It's a house, a big castle, that's been abandoned for quite a while. And suddenly, individuals are going missing near this location. So there is a good chance that he could be in this particular location. Wouldn't hurt to go check it out, especially if we might find an individual who is of great interest to those who be.
Well, and if we can save a lady, that always helps too.
What do they call him again? Oh, his Order of the Dragon, right? Seems appropriate. A dragon kidnapping a woman, trapping her in a castle.
He's
Those
always
were the
looking
knights in
for
shining armor.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be treasure?
Oh, I'm sure there will be something. Think about it. Dracula, as old as he is, don't you think there might be something special, important, something maybe even mystical that could be there, that could be of great value to not just, or a curse. Could be anything of the above. So I won't say this will not be risky.
I'd like to interject before this plot point proceeds and ask Sykeshire to check her PMs, please.
Miss Evelyn, I'd like to remind you last time we went to a place he was, the literal walls trying to eat us. Let's proceed cautiously before snatching and grabbing things we might find.
Agreed. Like I said, could be cursed.
Right. And if anything, ask Thurston to touch it first and then proceed.
At which point I take the cross out, but kind of hold it under the table. Hey, Thurston, touch this.
I'm not going to touch that.
Thurston, be a gentleman. Honestly.
She knows that I have past grievances with these.
Alright.
And I tuck it back in my coat.
So when would you like to proceed? And do you need to gather anything?
I'd like to stop by the house.
Right, I should, some of our coteries busy at the moment. Providing some backup too. You can pick them up.
Yes, we could always use backup considering what we ran into last time.
Agreed.
Alright, to the house then. Will you be joining us, or would you like us to meet you somewhere?
I wouldn't mind joining you if you would like.
Sure.
Is it
I will
safer
ask that you
for us?
stay in the carriage, though. Not to be rude, our house is very much haunted, and the ghost is very particular about who comes and goes. And he's warmed up to us in his own way. But perhaps for your safety, we'll wait on that.
Absolutely, I would not mind waiting in the carriage.
All right, it's a very nice carriage, so you'll be comfortable. Guess we'll pile in and head that away. Unless, or does anyone need to feed or anything of the sort?
Actually, quite good.
Not
Seventeen?
here.
I
So
will
begin
need to at some point.
Well, we could stop by my establishment on the way home. I wouldn't mind. Not really that hungry, but a little fix never hurts.
Well,
begin
there
to
is a
leave.
slight difficulty with that.
Really? Care to elaborate?
I cannot feed from anything other than our own kind. Meaning, from one of you.
Got it.
Why is that?
It happens to just be my nature. It is what I have no choice of. One who has a fang must be one that feeds me. I can feed from one of you, or I can feed from another one in your establishment. That is up to you.
Would you be able to find someone in Elysium, perhaps? Do you have that sort of pull?
Not if we're in a hurry.
Right. Well, my blood's no good.
Are we in a
very
hurry?
unhealthy blood. The other two, I'm sure, will do just fine.
Oh no, that's just
And-
not possible.
I mean, just look at me. You wouldn't want to waste your time feeding off of anything as disgusting as me.
Don't sell yourself short. I wouldn't mind.
Thurston, I think she might be into you. Take her up on that offer. Well, we'll cross that bridge when it comes if you get especially peckish then, alright? Otherwise, let's grab a quick bite on the way home, get what we need, and then take a trip to a castle.
As you begin to leave, for the pub, not a castle, Eveline is called over by Lorvan. He simply stands, stares at her, and gestures with two fingers.
Lorvan?
Look,
Dirk?
Dirk.
Okay.
It's hard.
Where
I didn't
are we?
sleep well. I'm on
Where are
very strong painkillers today.
Please,
By
pardon
Dirk.
me. And I
Good
approach Dirk and do a small curtsy.
Good evening, Kindred. Please take a seat. You requested a ghoul from wherever it was you managed to find that traumatized woman.
Yes.
Your request has been approved. Although she is not Romanian and is capable of speaking English, however, she is
Oh, all the better.
somewhat mentally unstable given what she has experienced. She will be delivered
Aren't
to a
we
place
all?
of your choosing. Although this may take some time, as they have not finished debriefing her.
Oh, good. I could use some time to prepare her quarters as well.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. Run along now.
I curtsy again before leaving.
Kotri, head out into the night, and straight into the awaiting carriage. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route, or would you like to arrive at the Whitechapel house?
I believe we're feeding first.
Ah. Is there anything you wish to discuss before you arrive at Aldrich's, one of Aldrich's many establishments?
Not particularly.
Carriage comes to a halt outside Aldrich's more fancy opium den. Everyone heading inside?
Sure.
And as everyone heads inside, a staff member behind the counter warmly and happily greets Aldrich. Sir, good evening. Business is doing very well. Your usual room?
I'm glad to hear it. And yes, the usual order for myself. Although, have your tastes been changing at all, Miss Evelina? I know I've introduced you to some of our new supply. Would you like to continue trying that, or stick with the tried and true?
Actually, I do quite enjoy the new stuff. That.
Right, a new medicine we've been peddling, and then actually I'll have some too.
Of course, sir.
Keep my mind sharp for the evening.
Just the two visitors, then?
Thurston, you need anything at all?
I mean, I guess while we're here, it wouldn't hurt.
Right, he's deciding not to just watch us this time. All right, then something for my friend here.
Very well. Please, allow me to take you to your VIP area. The man escorts you through the extremely busy main area of the opium den. You see bodies laid out on long couches, some of them holding a long pipe, others in a state of delirium. You casually walk through and are escorted once more into your own private, fancy chambers, resplendent with silk pillows, satin sheets, and the man bows to you and closes the door behind him. Is there anything you wish to discuss before hors d'oeuvres?
Nom nom.
Mm-mm.
You wait for a few moments, and the man returns with 3 new people in tow. 2 of them look very drowsy. The other is simply slightly nervous and confused. They each take seats between their respective
R2
people.
would be on.
Oh yeah, you're on every time.
Switched it up tonight.
They don't look drowsy at all. They look, in fact, very charged, full of energy, and constantly moving their jaw around. They each take a seat next to respective owners. The two, full of energy, begin fiddling with their thumbs and fingers immediately, tapping their feet and legs. The one next to Thurston looks particularly nervous. Who would like to feed first?
So much energy, I say to the one that sat next to me. And I intertwine my fingers with his and start singing a very upbeat song as I get closer and closer to his neck.
Do your feeding roll for me, please. Wonderful. Eveline slowly lets her voice reverberate between the man's skull. He is enraptured, although still fiddling, of course. And before he even realizes what's going on, Eveline extends her 4 fangs, piercing the man's flesh, sinking them deep inside, and extracting the very essence of what she needs, as the man lets out heavy sighs of pleasure. You may slake 2 hunger. Who is next?
As Eveline does that, I'm just gonna put a comforting hand on the nervous man's shoulder. Just watch them have fun. Don't be nervous. And as he's looking at them, I'm gonna try and, because of my predator type being stealth based, I'm gonna try and get as close as I can to him without noticing before I give him a little nibble.
Do your feeding roll for me, please.
Yay! No, I'll reroll. I'll reroll 3 of those. There we go. Hopefully.
Ah, that's just enough. As the man is distracted by Thurston's suggestion, Thurston slowly leans in, extremely quietly, not being noticed, and from behind extends all 4 of his fangs, sinking them deep into the man's flesh, slowly penetrating his skin and veins and extracting the vile essences. Needed essences. The man, unaware of what's happening, just lets rip with a heavy sigh of pleasure and gasp as Thurston slowly suckles upon the man and his wound. You may slake 2 hunger.
That leaves me. Yeah, much less seductive and fancy with it. I think Aldrich expects to be fed without question in his place of rule. So
You wait
just
till
gonna dive
someone
right
else
in once.
does their feeding. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, once the other two are occupied, he's just gonna look to his and then chomp down.
Okay. Do your feeding roll for me, please.
Imagine frog bite.
It's not what I'm imagining at all. Aldrich
4.
allows the man who is fidgeting to be distracted by the sight before him. The man is curious, unknown as to what is happening. As he is distracted, Aldrich grabs the man by the back of his hair, pulls it, letting the man stare at the ceiling. He extends his own 4 fangs and immediately pierces the man's flesh, sinking them deep into the neck, penetrating the veins and skin and flesh. The man is completely unaware of what is happening and just knows that he is enjoying it, as Aldrich takes the amount of blood he needs from the man. You may slake 2 hunger, and of course your feeding merit is satisfied. The 3 men are slipping in and out of consciousness from a mix of pleasure and awe, drugs.
I guess next stop is Whitechapel.
The coterie discard the three men as if they are rubbish. Aldrich at least informs a staff member that they're there and need to be cleaned up. They exit the opium den and proceed once more into the carriage that travels across the city. Comes to a halt outside their Whitechapel haven. Before they leave, they inform Ashley that they won't be long. Crack a window and leave her in the carriage.
Yeah, I'll gather my heavy-handed, my schlock to ghoul, as well as Durston.
Go up to my room, and you'll hear a lot of banging and clanging around.
That's probably just
And
for Mr. Cuddles.
I'll be pulling a large trunk by one hand out of my room
He doesn't.
and down the
Trunk, he has a
stairs start
tail.
scudding. What?
He doesn't have a trunk, he has a tail.
He's
Is
in
that
the
a
trunk. So I'm pulling the trunk down the stairs one step at a time.
Don't tell me that's what I think it is.
We need help.
Yes.
We need
Honestly,
backup.
I'm impressed you can haul that thing around. First of all, kudos to you. Second of all, what are you doing?
We need
As all
backup.
folks
You
say,
said so
what's all this
yourself.
then?
Backup.
Right. And to clarify, storyteller, we our first stop is a pub. Our only stop. It was a pub, not a castle, right?
Yeah. That was a miscommunication. The castle was last week's thing.
No problem. Is it
Sorry,
still a kidnapped
everybody.
person we're looking for?
This is a kidnapped woman.
Okay, so all the same info, but pub, not castle.
Yes.
So we walk into a pub. You open your trunk and that thing rolls out. Then what? Is this thing socialized? Have you brought it around other people before?
And nothing.
Oh, you're
What
getting
was
quite
that?
sassy.
Yeah, it's been around you guys. It'll be fine.
It's only tried to bite my toes off 3 times.
You asked for it. It's plain.
I mean, I of course would love for you to bring him out and play, but I'm just worried about the Masquerade breach and all. How will
I
you
won't
explain?
bring him until it's time. Not like he's much help interviewing people.
Right, so when the all gloves are off, you going to just open the trunk and have him say sick him?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll point to one of my men and push the trunk. Get the ladies' things for her, won't you?
Man doesn't even hesitate.
Don't open it.
Doesn't question you. He just does
Ignore any
exactly what you
sounds.
say.
Right, Thurston, do you have any surprises for us?
Surprisingly, no.
Should let it be known if our guest does need to feed, you might be the candidate. As we are, I would be fine with it, but I need to keep what I am a secret. Eveline, some of the things I've put together about her unique mental state, the singing, the voices, and whatnot. I don't know if we want to give another person that. Might have the
But just
healthiest
be
blood among
informed.
us. Hopefully, she could find something on the way, or we run into someone who's a better opportunity. No, I will not let her do anything to harm you. But if we need her not frenzying on the rest of us, we might
Thirsty.
have to be you, Thurston. I'm sorry. I wish it could be me. I do.
No, I understand. It would be quite a kerfuffle if they found out what you were. I agree.
Right. Yeah. It's not personal. I'd gladly take the bite for it. I don't know how those things work, and I don't want her taking a bite and realizing something's not quite right. All right, but hopefully it won't come to that. Like I said, when it does come to that, I'll be right there. Make sure she doesn't take too much.
That's reassuring.
All right, let us not keep her waiting. We will head out.
The coterie, Sam's trunk, head out into the carriage once more and begin their
Trunk's on the
journey.
back, right?
Yes. Across London. I hope there's something you wish to talk about en route. Really? You're just all like, yeah, random woman. Whatever, we'll go rescue her. We're good guys.
Oh,
I mean, I want to talk to Dracula anyway.
Woman.
This is
I can fully
Maybe I can make
understand
her a goal too.
why. I can fully understand why this might not be up for discussion, but I do find it interesting that you said that this Dracula fellow has a tendency to kidnap wives, and now he has someone of interest to Mithras himself.
That's correct. Yes. He does. It's of
I
grave
did-
importance to Mithras.
Right, I just did not know that. I always pictured Mithras to be so all powerful that he never kept anybody that close to him.
Is this person kindred or kind?
Well, let's put it this way. The person that it's important to the most is the prince. However, Mithras also wants to know what's going on with these people coming up missing, as well as Dracula being in his realm, in his area. So it's kind of an importance on both ends.
I'm confused about the relation with this woman and Mithras, though.
Yeah, I'm kind
Well,
of.
it seems like if someone was so important, you received this mission from Mithras himself, or was it passed down the line to you?
No, it's from Mithras himself.
I realize you are of that level of import.
Oh, why, thank you.
Well, I do hope you do not disappoint then.
You won't. Basically, the young lady is Princess Alice, one of the Queen Victoria's daughters. That's who's gone missing. Now do you understand the importance?
Quite a bit more, yes.
Yes, could have major repercussions should something happen to her. And it certainly attract the attention of a lot of kind as well.
Which that is of interest to Mithras. You see the connection.
I do. What else do you know about this Dracula? What are we getting into here?
I know that he's extremely old. I know that he has left his mark in various different areas. And obviously, if he is in this area and we are being tasked with finding out what he's up to before he's actually, for what we know, done anything other than a lot of people are going missing, then that is of great concern to Mithras.
All right. But I
If
assume.
such a high status woman is missing, surely we need to help.
What do you suppose our options are? It doesn't seem like if he's this connected to her that he would be willing to let her go. What is our bargaining power? Because I'm quite a confident individual myself, but I don't know. Dracula's someone we should maybe be being tough with.
I can understand your reluctance. However, do you really want to displease Mithras? If he has
No.
specifically sent me on a mission to do this, I'm not
Yeah.
sure the answer can actually be no.
If anything, I'm asking: do we have permission to? Do we speak with some of the authority of Mithra, some of the bargaining power?
His instruction was to basically find out what he's doing. So if that means to sneak into the location to see what he's doing, that might be an option.
I understand. Strictly information gathering for now. That we could do. How well we can do it, but we've got this. Don't you worry.
I mean, I would think maybe he might have some staff, some kind of things, creatures, people, whatever, going in and out of the facility, of the place. That might be something to think about.
What do you know about this place? What are we getting into here? Do we believe the woman's being kept here? Or we just know this is somewhere he frequents, or someone he works for him.
He has been spotted in the location as well as around that particular place. However, can I verify what he's actually doing in there? No. Or I wouldn't have come to ask for help from you.
It's a pub man then. All right,
My
that sounds
apologies for changing the discussion here. I had to think for a minute. You said Princess Alice, correct?
That is correct.
Didn't she die a few years ago? A few decades ago?
Technically.
Ah, interesting. That's something new you don't think you hear every day. Also, with someone as high stature as the princess herself, why would she just be held in some pub?
Couldn't answer that question. That's what we are tasked to figure out.
It all just seems odd to me. Which makes me all the more curious to see what's going on.
I do know that her guards were killed. The ones that were guarding her where she was at were killed. That's how it was alerted that she was missing.
Do you know how they tracked her whereabouts to the place we're about to visit?
I can't verify she's necessarily there. However, there is a suspicion that she could be. That is all the information I was given.
Understood. Understandable.
That girl we found before, Miss Evelyn, have you had time to translate or talk to her at all?
No, she's still being debriefed. But afterwards, she will be my ward.
Yeah, well, congratulations. I have ideas, but for now, I think we should see for ourselves what the place is like, and then strategize from there.
I would make the assumption, just a thought, that this big of a location, he would have to have someone helping him. Some individuals going in and out, perhaps ghouls of his own. Maybe that's something to check into to see if he does. Check out the location. See if there's any activity.
Well, I like the way you think. Get on to that.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Don't I know it?
Let's not get into that.
Carriage ride proceeds across London, with Aldrich coming up with many different ways to actually skin a cat in his mind. Eventually, the carriage pulls up outside the Smoked Herring pub. It's very busy, and even from the outside the coterie can already tell this is a pub for the far more affluent of the city. The streets are clean, and the usual layer of dirt over many of London's buildings still allow them to see the stone and brick of the building. Instead of singing and shouting, the sounds of people just trying to be heard drudge out onto the streets, with the sounds of laughter occasionally mixed in. The coterie all enter into the pub, and the smell of tobacco, beer, and even upmarket perfume tingle their senses. The bar is decorated with bright red colours, and displayed proudly over the bar is a full-sized Union flag, and a map of the world showing the reach of the Empire covering a large chunk of the map in pink. The barman outstretches his arms, and greets the coterie with a friendly smile, and addresses Aldrich directly. "Ah, good evening! New faces, what can I get you all?"
Oh, no, this is much more like it.
Right, is me and some very important people decided of a meeting here. It's a good place we could be set up for something like that.
A meeting? Yeah, sure, there's a couple of tables around that are still free.
Nowhere more private.
Private, sir? I mean, what kind of customers do you think we have here? Eavesdroppers?
Never know. Yeah, one of these tables will do just fine, thank you. Let's start with a round of whatever you recommend. I'll show you we can pay.
Less of your finest wine, please.
No, let's not go crazy.
Red or white?
Please. As red as blood.
Glass of Beaujolais for you. And everyone else can have...
You alright?
Bella Bartois.
How long it took you to think of that, it must be good. Alright, absolutely.
Ashley looks around as they enter the establishment, taking note of the different people in the area and following along with the group.
You know, I
Is there a
actually missed
stage in this
coming.
pub?
There is no stage in this pub. It's a high-class pub.
You know, I actually miss coming to places like this. Ah, the smell of tobacco. It brings me back. Luckily, I don't think I'll get recognized, obviously, for anything, so we should be fine.
You were a socialite back in the day, Thurston.
Well, yes, why do you think I love dressing the way I do now? Even after
Oh.
suffering the... He just gestures at his face.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you shouldn't let that stop you. You should still be a man about town. Enjoy the conversation. I've seen you put down some tea. I assume you can still put down a pint or two.
I assume so.
Let's try.
Not sure what you said there, Eveline, sorry.
I just said that sounds promising. You weren't supposed to hear it.
Oh, okay. A few moments later, a waitress walks over and presents you all with your ordered drinks. You notice that she actually has all of her teeth.
Excuse me. We're supposed to be meeting someone here. A woman named Alice. Have you seen her?
Woman alone? In a pub? What kind of place do you
No,
think
she
we've
was.
been here?
I'm sure she had escorts with her. But, maybe an older foreign gentleman. A man with a real air
There are
of
foreigners in
authority.
here, sir.
None at all.
This is an English pub for English people. We'll have no trouble here.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't let in though. But Alice, you've not heard of a woman by this name?
Oh, I've heard of plenty of women named Alice, but none that match your description, sir. The only older gentleman we have is, is old Cedric over there.
Is he regular? Is he often?
He's fairly regular, yeah. One of the Royal Guards, you know.
Oh, this is an English pub. Right. Thank you. I would tip
Sir.
you, but I'm told you do not do that in this country, so you go on.
It's a tip. She just walks off.
Is old Cedric within line of sight of me?
Yeah.
I can't remember the range on certain powers. Can I cast Sense the Beast from here?
Yeah.
Sense the Beast.
I think that's going to be it. I'll give that to you for an automatic success, to be honest with you, and you won't find any trace of a beast or any other kind of supernatural aura around him.
And Ashley's going to scoot her chair closer to Thurston. Kind of sitting more a little bit next to him. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, Thurston.
I'll give Aldrich a knowing eye.
What would you like to know about me, I guess?
Well, you seem to be so very knowledgeable, and he had mentioned that you used to be quite the socialite. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You seem to be such an amazing person.
I mean, like I said, I used to frequent places like this, but I tend to keep a lot of my previous life to myself, if you can understand.
Oh, I can understand, but wouldn't you like to share? It seems like you have such great personality.
What exactly are you trying to get at, Miss Ashley? I understand that we are here to find a missing woman, not get to know each other.
Well, didn't you think that would assist? I mean, if I know you have some special talent or skill, it might be beneficial when we're inside some place to rescue someone, wouldn't you think? I'm sure you're not insinuating otherwise. Are you?
I'm not insinuating anything, but I do know that I know much of nothing of Miss Evelyn's past over there, but I know she sings well, and that gets the job done.
Maybe we should have her tell a little bit about her past. Share a little bit so I can get to know you.
No, Thurston's much more interesting.
Sounds like you're it, Thurston. So tell me a little bit. Come on, give me just a little taste of something about you.
Well, the reason that I was able to come to bars like this was not of my own fruition. I was born into it.
As in, born in a bar? Or as in born to something else?
I'm born to a large sum of money. My father was quite high up in the echelons.
Ah, sounds like you are a very important individual within this coterie, wouldn't you say?
I'd say we all have our unique attributes, but I do, of course, think that I can be pretty affluent sometimes, but I do often let that go to Aldrich when he has a much more public-facing appearance, if you understand.
Oh, I do, but you are such the leadership type of personality.
During all of this, Eveline is laughing behind her glass that she's pretending to drink, to the point where she almost drinks some of it.
I think Aldrich will sort of lean into her at one point and be like, "Oh, I believe this is what they call playing with your food."
Oh, it's just casual flirting. Or playing with your food.
And Ashley leans over, gets a little tiny bit closer to Thurston, just scoots a little bit closer to him, where she's can whisper into his ear as opposed to just talking. And she says, "You know, you sound like you're such an important person, so strong, have such great stamina."
Drake, it looks like your drink's empty. Would you like me to get you another one? I'll get right on that. And I'll grab Aldrich's glass, whether it's empty or not, and I just get up and walk
I
around
think he's drinking
the
it.
pub. Yeah, I didn't think so either. I know.
Okay. You walk over to the bar. The barman says, "Ah, you look like a very interesting person. Please tell me all about you. I want to know everything. You're very fancily dressed. Where did you get those clothes? You must have
I didn't
very
say I
deep and
went up to the
interesting
bar.
tastes. Please tell me what brings you all the way here."
I didn't say I went up to the bar. I just said I went wandering around the pub.
Well, then a random stranger comes up
He's
to you and says
wandering
all
around
that.
with 2 full glasses.
Is anyone going to approach or ask about Cedric or anything?
Oh, I was gonna ask Thurston if
Yeah, I
Cedric
was
was one
waiting
of
till the
us, and then
Thurston
I got distracted. Yeah, what's Thurston? I'm gonna go make sure Thurston's all right, and then I'll maybe investigate our friend over there, Mr. Cedric. Actually, I'll talk to Thurston. Eveline, if you want to maybe... Seems like someone who may be susceptible to your wiles.
It would be my pleasure.
And, yeah,
I'll
I'll
go.
keep an eye on her, but I will try to find Thurston.
And Ashley's looking around as he gets up, almost kind of
We left her alone.
concerned. And I'm just sitting at this table by myself, thinking, dang, where's Dracula right about now? But just kind of sitting there going, okay, well, this is nice. Just watches as everybody walks off and watches the group in the room.
He's not getting left alone with her after what happened to Thurston, so he's making his exit.
Eveline approaching.
I'll approach him and say, "Is the seat taken?"
You see a man wearing the distinct red jacket of the British Army, but it is unbuttoned and exposes his undershirt. Despite the obvious sight of the jacket, the most distinguishing, eye-catching feature of the man is his grand handlebar moustache. He is quite obviously drunk and seems to be drowning his sorrows. He's leaning back in his chair, one hand still on his pewter tankard, and the other lazily listing by his side. Just sort of looks up at you. There.
I'll run my hand down the sleeve of his arm, the sleeve of his jacket, as I sit down. You seem like a very important man.
I'm afraid in that case, looks can be very deceiving, young lady.
Why? What has you troubled?
It's not something I would rather talk about in detail, just suffice to say I am a sham. I have failed my country and my duty.
Oh, certainly that can't be. You look much much too noble for that. Here, let me get you another drink, and I wave for the waitress.
Wander over and
Whoever's around.
yeah, she'll wander over. I'll exchange the order, and she'll come back a few moments later with a fresh tankard, taking the nearly empty one away. The man grabs the tankard off the table, raises it to you, downs it in one, lets out a particularly boisterous belch.
Raise my still full glass to him.
So what is this? Some sort of outreach program to the old, infirm, and useless?
Yeah, my companions were otherwise called away, and you looked interesting.
Then you might need to get your eyes checked, young lady. I am just a failure of a man. Couldn't even do my duty when need be.
What happened?
I may need something to loosen my lips a little more before I reveal such information. It's awfully
Another
dry in here, isn't it?
I'll flag down the waitress. Then I'll
Ultrich's tab is
lean
just
in.
getting larger and larger.
Yeah, I'll drink. Okay. I'll lean in really close. Please, it'll make you feel better. Tell me. Very close to his ear.
It is my duty to guard one of the royal family. It's very hush-hush. Don't go telling anyone this like I'm telling you. I overheard someone with an accent, a very unfamiliar accent to me, which is very strange. I have travelled many parts of the Empire. I used to be part of the expeditionary force, you know. I've travelled Africa, certain parts of Europe. But I was out
Those
at the
damn
time.
foreigners, you can't trust them.
Indeed! It is our duty to bring civility to these foreigners in these foreign lands and give them an idea of what civilization should truly be like. But I heard this voice and I heard Princess Alice. Her voice seemed troubled, heavy, arguing with this foreigner. Unfortunately, I was outside at the time. I was having to relieve myself, you see. Rather too much to drink that night. I thought I would ready my weapon and defend my country, my honor, and do my duty. Bloody well fell over, didn't I? Place first, onto the concrete. Knocked myself unconscious. Next thing I know, as I'm coming to, I'm being congratulated for my bravery to confront whoever it was that kidnapped Princess Alice. They're going to give me a damn medal, you know. For what? I had the chance to defend my country, the Empire, and the Queen once more. Instead, after everything I've seen and done, I've lost my honor. And what do I get for being a clumsy fool? A medal. A stinking medal. Now I am destined to die without honor and in shame. The only thing I could hear from this strange, accented voice, the words Portman Square.
But I know where that is.
Oh yeah.
Okay. No, not London.
It's the capital of England.
Oh, okay, that helps. Surely it must have been something that foreigner did. Like I said, you can't trust foreigners. And
You
then,
can't.
did he off and take Princess Alice?
He must have done, because by the time I came to, she was gone. The rest of my companions were all slaughtered, and I was left as the only survivor. Lauded for bravery that I did not commit, in a brazen act of shame, sadly. They've robbed me
That
of the
doesn't
chance
seem like
to
your
die with
fault
honor.
at all.
Perhaps not, but still. The situation is confusing, and I am shamed and without honor. A soldier is nothing without honor, except maybe a mustache.
You do have quite the impressive mustache.
Can't be an officer without
And
one.
you're...
It's probably all droopy as well by now.
But you're still young. I'm still caressing his arm as I say this. You have time to make up that honor. I know you have honor in you, and apparently so does everyone else.
What is an old man like me to do to gain honor? I can't be on the front lines anymore. I can't join the expeditionary force. My charge has
You
been...
find Princess Alice.
You know what? That's... Yes. Yes! Damn it, yes! He stands up. Buttons his shirt up. Puffs his chest up. And falls flat on his face, unconscious, drunk.
Kind of arrange his jacket, pat him, leave him where he is, and go back to the table.
Ashley sees her approach and is rather thankful because a woman sitting at a table alone in that area would not be considered good. So she's rather glad that she has come back to the table.
Oh, you definitely need a gentleman by your side.
I cannot
I'm
agree
so glad to
more.
have a lady.
By the way, where did Thurston go off to?
That's a good question. And I start looking around.
I assume I was able to. Did he disappear? Or
Oh
did
no,
he just-
you'd find him. Yeah, he wouldn't... I don't think he's got vanish, so he can't. Is it Cloak of
do
Shadows?
it while people are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just approach it. Thurston,
Yes.
are you feeling all right? Seemed a bit uncomfortable back there.
Oh, everything I said back there about my past was true. It's just that I was never one to talk about myself. I put on this facade to blend in with those that were around me at the time, and I kind of got stuck to it. I kind of like it now. But I did it to blend in so no one would bother me.
I think she was just being friendly, but I understand
I
this.
think so too. Yeah.
Maybe it'll make you feel better if you explain your backstory in detail to me instead. No, I'm joking. Let's Looks like Eveline has gotten some information out of the guard fellow. Let's return to our company. Shouldn't be
That's
leaving the
good.
ladies alone like that.
No, I didn't expect you to follow me. I was going to merely see if I could find any information, but if Evelyn has done that for us, then I guess we go see to that.
I'm afraid what will happen to my tab if I leave them there for too long.
Yes, you should.
Turn. Miss Eveline, how did your chat go?
Very well. He seems like quite the drunkard. But I do believe we'll need to go to Portman Square. Portman?
Portman Square, where the capital is. Yes, I know that.
London's the capital, silly.
Well, something's there. I thought that it's it with the capital. The building, maybe. Anyway, Portman Square. What was the importance of this place?
He overheard someone with a foreign accent that he couldn't place talking to Princess Alice, and Portman Square was mentioned. And then he passed out.
Sounds like you did an excellent job. Anyone else have any reason why we should not head to Portman Square now?
He's also passed out right now.
It's not
It'll
our
be
problem.
fine.
I think it would be an excellent idea.
Alright, let me settle my tab, and then we will be on our way. Do just that.
Yep. Be no problem for you. You'd be able to pay instantly, and man would be very grateful.
Would there be anyone around selling flowers?
Not on the pub, but you'd probably be able to find a flower stall outside.
Not on the streets.
Yeah.
I would buy some roses from the flower stall.
Okay.
With my own money, even.
Yep, no problem. Red roses?
Yes, please.
Not an issue whatsoever. We wouldn't be able to afford a bunch of them, maybe 2, 3 sort of thing.
I wouldn't want anything too extravagant. Modest. Simple. Stop looking at me like that.
And would you like to all head back
Absolutely
to the
not.
carriage? Or
Yeah.
perhaps
If that's where
maybe
everyone
you'd
else
like
is
to
going, yeah.
intercept a single individual coterie member before they step into the carriage? No? Okay.
Maybe, like, well, I didn't think that would really be possible. Everyone would be together, so.
Okay. You head back into the carriage, and it makes its way to Portman Square. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route?
When I get the carriage, I hand the flowers to Thurston. Here you go, as requested.
I'm sorry, as requested?
Oh, I'm sorry. And I don't hand them to him, and I hand them to Ashley.
God damn it. I had a recovery I could have done, but no, you didn't hand them to me.
Ashley accepts the flowers and takes them and holds them up to her chest. These are so sweet. Thank you so very much. How kind of you.
Yes, Evelyn, how kind.
Listen,
two
you are
must be
quite
great
the
friends
gentleman.
now. Me? What do you mean?
I know these
Obviously,
came from
wait
you.
at Ashley.
No need to act coy. It's good that you are such a humble individual, but you should take credit for knowing that Miss Evelyn has an eye for these things. Get the most beautiful flowers for, I think you described it as the most beautiful kindred.
Ashley scoots a little bit closer to Thurston in the carriage.
That Clara, I see.
And I hope so.
Give Aldrich a Victorian high five.
You two, so kind. Shall we continue?
We shall, but I was Miss Ashley, if it is not too forward, it was your curiosity about Thurston here. Perhaps Thurston should get to know you as well. He's a bit shy to ask, but we would love to know about your life story as well.
Well, she scoots a little closer over to Thurston. She kind of just strokes his arm a little bit as she's talking. It's so kind of you to get these for me. Thank you. I know.
No need to thank me. It was Evelyn that went out of the way to do it. I just merely asked.
Oh!
Ashley looks between Thurston and Evelyn, kind of back and forth, and she's like, well. So what would you like to know about me? As she looks to Aldrich. You said you wanted to know about my past, my history. She's still kind of slowly stroking his arm on his shoulder.
You just seem like a very interesting individual. You know, I enjoy conversations with interest. I feel like there's a lot I can learn from you. At the very least, just knowing a bit of your story could help. Well, our relationship is since we'll be working together for a short time at least. How does one of you come into employ as someone in direct contact with Mithras? Have you always been born in such high esteem, or did you work your way up?
Let's just say that my family, so to speak, is allowed to be in this area. However, when I am requested by Mithras to do certain things, it is what allows my family to be here. So, and what I mean by family is bloodline, clan, is allowed to be here so long as that is correct.
Do you know Dirk?
The name's not ringing a bell at the moment. And she just gives you a look like she's not necessarily telling you one way or the other. She's just answering your question. And she continues to stroke his arm.
I think I've run into you before, except at the ball. Does that mean you visit London? You do not reside here?
That is correct. And I was at the ball, and I remember meeting you.
Right, it was our first meeting, though. I haven't seen you at Elysium or anything, so I was curious where you do haven, if not here.
Now, a lady would not necessarily tell you exactly where I haven. I don't know you well enough yet. That can be arranged, however.
We parked you right in front of where we stay and just thought it was a mutual trust thing. You're welcome to stop by anytime you like.
Really? And I would be able to come in?
Like I said, there's certain dangers involved, thanks to the spirit, but if you really, really felt yourself inclined, I would not stop you.
But between you and Thurston, you are such strong, protecting individuals. I'm sure if I walked in, you'd be able to protect me, right?
I'm a simple businessman, practically a fop. Thurston probably could, though, yes. He's sort of the warrior, the knight, if you will, the chivalrous one of our company. Even as a sword.
Is that how you've always seen me, Eldrick? Oh, that's so kind.
Thurston, that's how all of us see you.
True.
The only thing more impressive than your prowess in battle is your sensitivity of the heart, I would say.
Oddly enough, that's not a new one on me.
And the sensitivity of the heart. I'm sure you wouldn't leave a girl hungry, would you? I mean, you would help out, wouldn't you? Being the white knight that you are, the powerful man that you are.
I will gladly find you a kindred to feast upon, if need be.
I do find it hard to imagine a kindred such as yourself, Miss Ashley, is not already involved with someone. You've not found a knight yourself all this time.
I usually dedicate myself more to my work.
Admirable.
It is unsafe going around London without an escort.
This is true, but I am able to run in the shadows, so to speak, so I'm not quite as easily noticed. However, you are quite right. I have had those who have escorted me from place to place.
What happened to them?
I know some excellent shortcuts through the sewer if you ever need any assistance.
Ah, would you be willing to take me down into the sewer and give me a tour?
I would
Hi,
have
Clara.
to. I would have to ask and make sure that you're allowed to, but as long as it is okay, then I would not mind.
Listen, you wouldn't mind going down with her. That's very gentlemanly of you. Look at that, we're at the place.
No, I don't think you are quite yet. I want to know more about this romantic tour of the London sewer where you can be all like, isn't it lovely? Look at that turd.
We found demon fungus here once.
Yeah.
For that, it might eat you.
The coterie arrive in Portman Square, a small section in Mayfair, with Marylebone to the north of it, Baker Street at one end, as the coterie enter in from Orchard Street, and go past the Hamilton Memorial Drinking Fountain into the park itself. See, educational as well. The park seems empty as they walk in. The breeze of the night whistles through the trees and over the large pond in the centre of the park. Catching the coterie's eyes in the middle of the grass is a small band pavilion with a figure of a woman clearly sat upon a metal chair. Aldrich can already hear her gently weeping.
That woman over there is crying.
Surely we should check on her.
Let's all go. Shouldn't leave anyone alone in a seclusion like this.
Ashley agrees and stands close to the group, a little bit closer to Thurston, but walks with the group wherever they might go.
Well, just to blend in, you shouldn't be sulking about it at night. Everyone should grab an arm, and I'll offer an arm to Miss Eveline.
Of course, I'll accept.
Thurston.
Ashley turns and looks at Thurston, expectingly, but with a very
Yes.
sweet smile.
Yes, of course, and I'll lock arms with Ashley as well.
I've expected you to hook your arm into hers sexually.
I will attempt to do that.
Okay. The coterie begin to approach the bandstand, and as they do so... Ashley immediately realizes that this is not Princess Alice, but before she is able to turn to the coterie and tell them, the flesh on the woman begins to slowly drop off. It falls like a loose dress to the floor and lands on the floor with a splat. The creature's exposed skeleton and muscle screams at the collective of kindred and bares its fangs and claws at her own face, tearing the loose pieces of skin that are peeling away from her before she charges directly at them. Yes, Eveline.
Is
need to go to the
it
toilet again.
practical to think... What? Is it practical to think I could call for Mr. Cuddles and he could tear out of his trunk?
Practical? Yes. Masquerade breach? Yes.
This chick's a masquerade breach!
I don't think whites uphold the masquerade.
Oh, breach!
Which is why we have to kill it.
That breach isn't our fault, though. We don't have to explain that one. I'm just gonna go punch the creature.
Okay.
Like a
Strength.
gentleman would.
Strength. Brawl. The creature's going to try and dodge out of the way.
I assume there are other people. Just gonna switch. This thing's still a masquerade breach on its own.
Or I'm using willpower for a total of 4. Or 3.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm reading yours. 4.
Does your... Here's a sentence I never thought I'd say this morning, but does your fist do extra damage?
Plus 2.
Aldrich clenches his knuckle and takes his extremely hardened hand, driving it into the kindred's face, smashing pieces of bone off. It barely responds and looks at him and hisses in his general direction. Who's next?
I scream. You scream. We don't scream.
Please do...
Oops, sorry. I'm
I can't remember
getting
what
it,
we
but
called
my
it, but
thing
I'm
went on
going
its
to
own.
call it blast
There we go.
beats. Yeah, Death of the Drum, blast beats. Rouse check. Gain a hunger after you roll.
Oh, wait. That's right.
Oh yeah, and I do get a dodge with a -1 modifier. Yes. Eveline, you can do a reroll if you so wish.
It's an 8? There's no way I'd have to get a crit to get it.
Not taking you to Las Vegas, then. Eveline wills a vitae to her larynx and prepares her undead power. She lets off a sonic blast in the general vicinity of the white that is able to easily move out of its way and advance once more towards the coterie. Next.
Miss Ashley, please allow me, and I'll run at it with my sword.
Okay. Strength melee, please.
The
Impress
other
us,
two have built
Thurston.
up the other two have built up a persona. I'm going to rouse. I was trying to think of the name of it. So that is melee.
Potency 1 says
Blood surge?
+2 modifier.
So blood surge, yes, that was what I was looking for.
Very nice. Kindra's going to punch you back. Because you've been built up as this persona, and it's even reached word of the white.
God,
Nice.
this Thurston guy's real tough. I gotta kick his ass.
Thurston unsheathes his sword with confidence, charges directly at the undead creature, bringing his blade through the air with a hiss, and impacting deep into the creature's side, tearing off ligament, pieces of skin and bone. It lets out a howl of pain as you do considerable damage to its structure. Ashley.
So are we assuming that breaking the masquerade at this point is kind of a thing?
Oh yeah. You're not in the Sabbat here, sonny boy.
Okay, then we're going with Arms of Arhaman.
Yes.
Show me
We
arms of
finally get to see
Araman,
that not
please.
against us.
So Ashley turns to Thurston and says, Let me try to help you, my knight.
It's gonna be good. Do a rouse check for me, please. Okay. Roll Arms of Araman and then increase your hunger by 1, please. Next dice button along. So let's see if... I see, okay. Do you want me to do the roll for you? Okay.
It's actually just the button right above the one that you hit to make the thing come on.
Of course, I roll really well when it's not my fucking character. So that's going to be a success. But it takes you 1 turn to prepare the shadows as Ashley stands there, darkness enveloping her. Even her eyes have become over entirely black, and the coterie can see the shadows dancing and whipping around and writhing. The white took its turn, attacking Thirsty Boy, which brings us round to Aldrich.
Seeing this shadow display, which I don't think Aldrich has seen before. I don't think I've ran into anyone who can do this. Being quite curious. He's essentially just going to defend himself. He's purposely sort of stepping back and curiously watching to see what Ashley's about to do.
Okay. The white's going to completely ignore you because it is focused entirely on Thurston and his legendary exploits. Eveline?
Meanwhile, I'm pissed that I missed, so I'm going to go at it with my scissors.
Okay. Dexterity melee, please. And it's going to try and dodge.
Reroll.
Do you want to reroll?
Why is it getting all these crits?
Just lucky like that. Eveline pulls the scissors out of one of her pockets, spins them around fashionably in her hands, and charges at the white, attempting to stab it. It's still focused on Thurston, but is able to maneuver out of the way of each and every incoming blow with surprising grace and poise. Thurston.
I'll just swipe at it again with my sword.
Strength melee.
I'm gonna rouse the blood too. Cool.
And it's going to try and claw and bite at you.
I'll reroll.
So will I.
Haha!
Good thing I did. 6, 8. Nice. The wight lurches forward, claws and fangs to bear. Thurston is completely unfazed, possessed as if by some sort of warrior spirit, and brings a sword clanging down, embedding it straight into the wight's chest and pulling it out, with extreme amounts of viscera and gore falling upon the floor. Ashley, you can use your Arms of Ahriman. Let me see. So, yeah, Wits and Oblivion to attack with the Arms of Ahriman.
So she reaches, the shadowed tentacles reach out and grab one on each arm and basically starts to pull to disassociate the arms from the body.
Okay. Do you want me to do the roll for you? And all the wight can do is attempt to dodge, which is going to be a -2 modifier. Very nice. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah. The shadows reach out and entwine themselves around the wight's arm. It's completely unaware of what is happening to it. And suddenly, the shadows pull each arm off and out of their sockets. Blood doesn't so much spray out of the wounds as it dribbles like a deluge down its sides. The wight lets out hisses of pain, but is still barely standing. Which brings us to Aldrich.
Seeing how both Thurston and Ashley have just been decimating this thing, and Evelyn's been not, I'll take a step towards her. Evelyn, I think this is a fight only true love can win. We have no place in this. He's going to continue staying out of it.
Oh, very good point. Very much agreed. And Evelyn will step back with him.
Okay. Thurston?
I have no idea what they're doing, so I'm going to swipe with my sword again.
Okay.
And I've been doing good, so I'm going to rouse the blood again. Hell yeah.
And all the creature is going to try... Actually, the creature's going to try and attack you. However, it is going to have a -2 modifier regardless, because it ain't got no arms, Jim. Lovely. Thurston looks at the mess of the creature before him, brings his sword up, and swipes through the air, cutting straight through the kindred's neck, decapitating it, and it falls to the ground with a wet splat as blood slowly dribbles out of the body. No cookies.
That was very well done. All brave knights. Strong in battle and of the heart.
I couldn't have done it without him.
Just merely aimed for the sensitive bits. You know how it goes.
And as the words leave Thurston's mouth, the creature quickly gets back up onto its legs and makes one final charge at Thurston before, just as it's about to make contact with him, turns to ash and falls to the ground, attempting to bite at him. The remains are blown away in the wind, and a blood-stained letterhead remains on the floor, with the address of a fortune teller in Bedford Square upon it.
I've never seen them get back up before. That was disconcerting.
Thurston, did you receive an injury in that? Ashley, could you help him with that? He looks quite scuffed up.
Oh,
Evelyn, if
that's
you'll
quite all
look
right.
at this address with me, please.
Ashley
I'll pick
walks
the letter
over to
up.
Thurston and she runs her hands across his arm, looking so very concerned for his safety and his health and his well being. Are you okay, Thurston?
I'm
What can I
perfectly
do to
fine.
help you?
I'm quite all right, Miss Ashley. You need not do anything.
Meanwhile, I read
What's
the letter.
It's just a blood-stained letter header for a fortune
just the
teller.
address?
Oh,
Oh,
there's no
letterhead.
letter there. Okay.
Doing a look around to make sure that there were no witnesses, or if there are, I will have to deal
If
with
there
them.
were, they've made themselves quite scarce.
Right, we should get out of here
So I could have used Mr. Cuddles.
with haste. No?
And Ashley wrapped
This
her arm
is a fight of love.
into Thurston's arm. You were so brave.
I only did what had to be done.
That's what a
It's that
man does.
Modesty again. All right, everyone into the carriage.
And as the
I'll
coterie,
hook my arm in Aldrich's, but kind of purposely hold him back so that they get in the carriage first.
and as the coterie head back into the carriage, we will take a short break and be right back.
The sigh from.
Dropping subtle hints about romance and blossoming relationships. Bedford Square contains rows of Georgian-era houses, known to be expensive and lavish even by Mayfair standards. The most highly sought after and admired is number 1. The coterie are not heading there tonight, though, but instead heading to another. They proceed directly to their targeted house, cutting through the small but filled green area in the centre of the square, and head straight to the apparent fortune-teller's dwelling.
Before approaching, I'd like to cast Flush of Life.
Absolutely. Do a rouse check for me, please. Wonderful.
I might have clicked on it multiple times. I did. The first one, it looks like I gained it.
Gain a hunger then. As the blood rushes around your body, bringing unfashionable colour to your cheeks, and even a faint echo of a small pulse inside of your chest. The coterie head up the small steps and approach the front door of the house.
I'll knock.
There is no answer.
I'm
Look
gonna
through the window.
listen in. Does it sound like anyone's inside? Do I hear any activity?
Nope. And bear in mind that you have got heightened senses permanently on all the time. You hear no signs of any activity in this house.
I'll look through the window.
I think the door is actually unlocked. I'm going to try it.
The door is unlocked and opens to a silent
Break it open,
and
but
empty
it works.
hallway. A set of stairs leads up, and an open doorway at the back reveals the kitchen. To the coterie's immediate left is a closed door with a horseshoe upon it. It has seemingly had a nail ripped out and is now upside down.
Oh, that's bad luck.
No, these are weapons, I believe. Aldo gave us one of these.
Is this Aldo's living quarters?
No, shoe is good luck unless it's upside down. It lets all the good luck spill out of it.
I thought they meant for throwing in fairies, but all right.
Ashley's just
You're not
sitting in
up
the
on your
back
account,
listening.
are you?
Let's do a room to room sweep, starting with this floor. Come along.
I'll open the door with a shoe on her.
The room has thick and heavy drawn curtains. The only thing in the room left untouched are large splinters of wood that have been thrown around. The room is haphazardly mixed in with small pieces of thick crystal. Eveline recognizes the room as one used by mediums to ply their trade, judging by the desolation wrought in the room of broken shelves, cheap occult books and tarot cards thrown around and discarded with an almost palpable hatred. Thick blood spatters and streams cover the walls.
Assuming the crystal is a shattered crystal ball.
Yes.
Well, what you said about being a lie, I guess is correct. Because, I mean, if they could foresee the future, they would have foreseen this.
I will reach down and pick up the closest thing at my feet, be it a tarot card or a book or...
Intelligence and investigation, please. Or would you
Okay.
prefer wits and awareness?
No, intelligence and investigation.
Lovely. Eveline looks...
Ashley-
Oh, sorry. Eveline looks at the table that's been flipped over and turns it on its side, and it reveals 3 cards set in place with scorch marks around them.
I'd like to inspect the cards themselves.
You find the 10 of Swords, and I have explanations for these as well if you're not familiar.
Oh, I was pulling up my cheat sheet.
I can... 10 of Swords. Regardless of the type of deck you're using, it features a man lying face down with 10 swords in his back. When you see this frightening and often startling card, it's usually an indicator that you are likely going to suffer some unwelcome surprise in the near future. The 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords represents rejection, sadness, loneliness, heartbreak, betrayal, separation, and grief. And finally, the Tower. Something shocking happens that completely destroys the picture of peace and harmony.
Well, we're definitely in the right place. Because 2 of the 3 cards have to do with impaling things.
Right. Good observation. That's
These are possibly the 3 worst cards you could get.
right. Impaling, stabbings, and swords. That's what they mean,
And
right?
grief. And it seems like a lot of grief, pain, anguish.
Well, he keeps kidnapping so-called wives. Maybe he's grieving, or he's looking after people, or looking out for people who are grieving.
You're looking. You're not reading these cards right. It's a lot simpler than that. I'll pick up the one with the 7 of swords. This means you're going to be stabbed with 7 swords. It's as simple as that. Right on the cards. There's a picture right there.
10
No.
or 3.
It's, yeah. The 10 has, yeah. Anyway.
Here it is, Aldrich.
This is the Aldrich
It's
tarot
very
deck.
possible that... It's very possible that someone just didn't like their reading. This is a very bad reading.
Well, let's see what else we can find here. Seems like something poor, someone like maybe a violent reaction. We shall see. You said there's blood in here?
Yes. There's a blood spatter and stream over the wall.
Maybe we can assume that the splatter on the wall isn't necessarily the person who came in and did the attacking, but someone else, if it's that much. Is it a lot?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a worrying amount if you were mortal, yeah.
I wonder if we could tell what kind of blood this is, but I'm not sure I could tell by just tasting.
I can. I forgot I could do
Well, then
that.
taste it. Cedra used to be able to
Yeah, Cedra used to stick her tongue in all sorts of things.
until she went crazy.
Well,
I mean,
Aldrich, I believe you're in luck.
Imagine that.
This isn't something that uh really comes up very often, but I can give it a shot if there's enough of it.
Are you going to lick the wall by night?
I- Sorry, it's just another sentence I didn't think I'd hear today.
I have to lean over and give Thurston tips. No.
Unless you have any other ideas of extracting it from the wall, I believe that is the only way. No, Shiv, I'm gonna go up and lick the wall.
Right, well, you lick the wall.
I used to always just.
I've never done this before, so I'm gonna lick the wall.
If he moves to the carpet, Miss Eveline, then you can give him advice.
And Ashley's just watching him lick the wall with great interest.
I'd like to state for the record that while Cedra was not, Evelyn is straight.
Is now a good time to say that a lot of wallpapers in Victorian times contained arsenic?
I'm Kendra.
He's already dead.
Bother me.
I tried to think of a way to put that in sometime. Was it green? It's usually the green stuff that contains arsenic.
I think it was blue as well because it killed
Blood?
Napoleon.
Blood with a hint of, I think, almonds?
Nice.
Do taste of blood for me, please.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yes.
Thurston strides up to the wall, and without a single piece of shame in his soul or body, immediately begins lapping at the blood. You will find that this blood is mortal blood.
No, I believe this is the vitae of the victim. Gone slightly stale.
Good to know. Let's see if we can't find our victim. Is this the only room down here besides the kitchen?
Just the kitchen downstairs left, yeah.
Check the kitchen before heading upstairs, then.
The kitchen has been torn apart, the single dining table rendered in two down the centre. Of the two chairs in the room, one is broken as if thrown against a wall, the other simply turned over. A moderately sized Rayburn cooker runs against a back wall, with one of its four doors open on its hinges. The pantry door hangs at an angle, torn off its top hinge with distinct broken slats smashed inwards. The pantry has been almost emptied of its contents. Some tinned foods have been opened, and only a portion of which has been eaten. Behind the pantry door is a small blood spatter.
And someone really didn't like their reading.
Looks like they took it out in the whole place.
Is there any silverware and is it silver?
Yes, but no, it's stainless steel.
Okay.
It looks like someone was looking for something almost. Like going through all the pantries and emptying things out. I mean, if they were just angry at a reading, would they take this much time to go through things, or are they looking for something?
That was a good observation. Well, go upstairs then,
Oh, who is nearest the Rayburn?
Thurston.
Thurston. Wits and awareness, or intelligence and investigation, whichever you prefer.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
Thurston instinctively inspects the Rayburn, finding it cold. He opens each of the small portal doors, and inside of one he finds a single woman's shoe. The shoe is stained with blood.
Is it because they didn't have a microwave?
Yeah, I was thinking. Who would stick a shoe in a stove? Is this common practice for any of you?
No, but I wonder if they were hiding something, like hiding the shoe. Why else put it there?
I'm just turning over the shoe, looking inside. I know I'm not gonna find anything, but no, it's just a shoe.
Lick it.
I am not going to lick the shoe.
There's blood on it.
Yes, but even I have class.
I'm starting to sense a pattern here. This might be set up specifically for our coterie. There's a horseshoe, Thurston's weapon of choice. There's a shoe, there's Alistair's weapon of choice. Not sure what else we're gonna find here.
I look around for scissors.
Plug your ears.
Hang on to that just in case. Yeah, let's have a peek upstairs.
The coterie make their way up the stairs as the wood creaks under their pressure. They reach the top, and they can see to their left is an open door to the bathroom, which they can already tell is untouched. To their right they see a closed door. Aldrich can already hear breathing and the sound of a heart beating, thanks to his undead hearing.
We'll immediately open that door.
Door is unlocked. It opens silently. The coterie take in the sight of a young woman, almost the exact spitting image of Queen Victoria in her youth, tied down by thick rope to the bed and gagged. The heavy ropes make the expensive flowing dress cling to her figure, and have already begun to tear into her flesh, soaking the hemp ropes in blood. Ashley instantly recognizes Princess Alice.
I rush forward and remove the gag.
Ashley, is this her?
Yes, this is her. Ashley runs over and starts to try to untie anything from her if she can. The ropes.
I'll cut them with my scissors.
All three. The woman is groggy and dazed, but slowly comes to. Who are you? What are you... What's going on?
Are you okay?
My head hurts. A lot. Why are there bells ringing?
Is that unusual?
None of you have got dots in medicine, have you?
I do.
No.
Aldrich will know that
Yeah.
that is probably the symptom of a concussion.
Evelyn thinks it's normal.
Just likely taking a blow to the head. You're safe now. You're... Any idea how long ago this happened to you? How long you've been here?
Not too long. What time is it? What day is it? You there, boy! What day is this?
I believe it is July 7th of 1892.
Then it was this night. I was abandoned here. An exotic man, very exotic man of supreme magnetism, came to me during the night, explained to me he desired me, that he himself was of royal blood. I was instantly charmed, mesmerized with him. He said he had a special plan for me. He wanted me to be the 7th daughter, and in turn I would turn 7 more.
I'll get her
I
a cold
think-
compress from the bathroom.
Thurston, is she one of us?
I thought she might have been, but let me double check. And yeah, I will cast Sense the Beast on her. Do you want the blurb?
No, just cast Sense of Beast.
Meanwhile, I'm putting the cold compress to her head.
And Ashley's looking at everyone else saying, I think we should probably move her. I don't know if we should stay here. If she was chosen for something, whomever chose her might come back. So maybe we need to move her out of this area.
I agree. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing else here. She's safe with your lot.
And Aldrich, before I try my best, but I can't quite tell at the moment. I best err on the side of caution.
Understood. Aldrich's gonna have a look around the. Are there other rooms up here, or is this the only room this in the back?
There was the bathroom, but it was untouched.
So just this. Okay.
Now it's missing a cloth and some water.
We came here tonight. The man wanted his fortune told. He was angered by what was imparted upon him.
Told you so.
He lost his temper, destroyed the place, killed the fortune teller. He took the body to the ceiling. I only heard screaming from then on until he returned. He told me he couldn't bring himself to kill me, one of his own brides. So he restrained me and left me here. Are you
Ashley
chasing
walks
him?
over.
Sorry.
Ashley walks over and sits next to her and says, do you know where he might be? Where he might be going?
I can tell you this. On one condition. You promise to bring his existence to an end.
And then, good news, I believe we found his shoe.
It's a woman's shoe. It's probably her shoe.
Don't judge.
Ashley looks around and says, do we have a place that we can move her to?
Should we take her to Elysium?
Is that some kind of club?
Yes.
Actually, yes. Elysium is more for our political party. Is there a place your boss would like her? He's the one concerned with her, right?
I could accompany you for the night and show you exactly where he is. It's been so long since I've been out.
That also means someone's going to have to stay with her to keep her safe if she comes along.
Stay with her.
Well, what about this strapping young man? He looks like he's seen a lot. Tell me all about you. Where did you come from and how did you get here?
It all started on a stormy night.
Well, I mean, I have someone that can look out for her. I have Durston, but Miss Eveline, I think, can take care of her, like she said.
And Thurston and I are trying to get to know each other, so you'll have to forgive me, but I'm trying to learn more about his skills. He shall be teaching me a little tonight. So I think Miss Evelyn would be a great person to spend some time with you. Find out, what all you might be able to help us with.
Settle then.
Not being part of this conversation at all, but kind of just observing it. When Ashley motions to me. I have no idea what's going on. So the gross Nosferatu in the corner kind of just gives like a little wink and a like waved to the poor woman. Not actually, Princess Alice.
All right, like I actually said, we should not linger here too long. To the carriage.
I agree, because we do not know if whomever did this is going to return. And I don't think we need to be here when he does.
Instead, I believe Her Highness will be taking us to him.
I'm not the queen.
Do you call a princess? Aldrich would know. I don't.
Just your grace is fine.
Grace. All right. Her grace.
Remember,
fullness.
and remember, Aldrich, curtsy with the knees.
Of course. All right, let's go.
The coterie
I will
head
help
out
her outside.
and head straight towards their carriage. They each bundle inside. Princess Alice leans out of the window and says to the driver, "To Bloomsbury!" Settles back inside.
How she says it?
It's exactly how she says it. She says, "To Bloomsbury, James, and don't spare the horses." Is there anything you would like to discuss on your way to Bloomsbury?
Be fussing over her a bit, like trying to help her smooth her clothes and fix her hair.
And she will just sit silently still, like she's used to this sort of attention.
Yeah, she'd be used to this.
And Ashley just scoots closer to Thurston.
He's used to it by now.
But is Ashley used to the general Thurston moisture?
That's a good question.
For her, my tissue now.
Carriage enters into Bloomsbury. Jesus, that's loud.
While we're still in the carriage,
Oh, yes.
Thurston, would you like to try again?
Yes,
at
now
her.
that she's got more wits about her, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. And I'll just roll again.
Would you
I'll
Can I slap
reroll.
Thurston?
would you like success at cost?
No. Gonna reroll.
That's good enough. You feel, as you sense over the woman, something inside of her, but not the usual kindred beast you're used to seeing in your companions and such. This seems very strange to you, very foreign, not very powerful either.
So, not directly sensing the beast, but something related to the beast, correct?
Yes. Something, a very weak and new
Perhaps
kind
she's
of
not
beast.
turned yet?
Yeah, either she's not turned yet or she's somewhat grilled. One of the two.
Ashley is particularly not paying attention to this, almost like she already knows something.
Aldrich, to answer your question from earlier, the answer's no, but not 100%. He just wildly gestures in the air, something.
Tell me, Your Grace, did this foreigner crew, did he feed you any of his blood? Or drink any of yours?
I should think not, sir. What kind of lady do you take me for?
A victim of a strange man with strange habits, from what I've heard.
What you expect from a foreign person.
Right,
You don't
you
know
are.
what to expect. You can't trust foreigners.
Could have been worse. He could have been one from one of the colonies. They're all barbarians.
Ashley
you
reaches
agree?
over and pats the young woman's hand and said, "It'll be okay. I promise it'll be okay." And she shoots Aldrich a look, like, "Don't ask anything else." And then removes her hand from the young lady and places it on Thurston's arm.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Just that last bit. Places what on Thurston's arm?
The wet end.
Her
And
hand. Her
Okay.
hand.
Okay.
Anything else you wish to do before arrival? Very well. Bloomsbury has a
like
reputation.
to
Yes.
you ask.
Yes. Yes.
While I'm kind of holding her, caressing her, fussing over her, I'd be humming very low to kind of calm her down.
Eveline is gently making sure the princess is prim and proper, while humming to herself "Thorns Upon My Grave."
I was thinking the monster mash, but that works too.
Bloomsbury has a reputation in London for being an intellectual area of the city, populated by scholars, lawyers, publication companies, and book printers. Dracula seems to have chosen a particularly quiet corner of the area that affords quick and easy access to prey and the rest of the city. The coterie make swift progress to the building that is currently the monster's haven, and approach the front door to the building.
Before approaching, I would like to undo the latch on the trunk, just in case.
I'll have my man with us, and he can carry the trunk.
Ashley leans in and whispers to the group, "What about her? What about her?"
I'd have her with me.
You want to take her inside? I'll leave her in the carriage.
We can't leave her alone.
Alright. Not sure if the Count sees her, she'll let her go. Couldn't lie and say we out of sight, out of mind type of thing, but Alice, what would you like to do?
I want to watch you separate his head from his body. I'm sure by now he will be resting.
See, she'll be fine.
Alright. Ashley, you are fine with us taking her? Because if something happens to her, your patron will not be pleased. As long as you're willing to take full responsibility, I support your choice.
Well, I don't know what choice we have. Either we leave her in the carriage by herself, or one of us stays, or she goes with us.
I mean, yeah, I can send my carriage to any part of the city too with her in it.
You certainly shall not, sir. This man has earned the ire of the royal family, the empire of the United Kingdom, and these fair isles. I wish to see the life leave his body.
Alright, just looking at Ashley. As long as everyone here remembers, not my fault if something happened.
Be fair, Your Highness. If this man was able to
I'm
do
still
these
not the
horrid
queen.
things. Oh, I
Your
meant to
Grace.
say Your Grace.
Oh, Grace.
Sorry.
Arian. Speaking like one of the colonies.
You know better than that.
If a man like that is able to do the things you spoke of, I do not know if there's much life left in those eyes.
Well, it certainly won't be by the end of the night, correct?
You're not wrong, Your Grace.
Come! Let us engage the cur with full force. And she tries to open the door. Door's locked.
Mister's not here. I'll do it this time.
Dexterity and larceny, please.
Can I make it dexterity and stealth with my break-in skill specialty?
Ashley just smiles at the skill that
Yeah.
he uses to get in the door.
Okay. You said yes to
Yeah.
stealth?
Yeah. Perfect. Thurston stealthily opens the door, picking the lock with great dexterity, and silently opens it. The door opens into an unassuming house hallway. The house seems lived in, and of modest quality of life. If anything, the coterie is struck by how normal it is. The house has no personality, nothing that tells the story of its owner, residents, or anybody else that may dwell inside. The coterie know the house is merely preserved for appearance's sake, and that the current resident rests below in the house's cellar. They instantly walk to the door under the stairs, opening it, and proceed down into the cellar, finding it strangely well lit by one of the electric light bulbs that is seldom seen. As they exit the staircase silently, they take in the sight of the relatively small room, finding its walls lined with mirrors, and in the centre flanked by a tall, elaborate candle stands, placed neatly upon a marble altar, is the resting body of a well-built, strong man with long, flowing dark hair and a proud, thick moustache. His hands are cupped together on his chest. Alice quietly whispers to the coterie. There he is. Deliver the final blow before he wakes, before he can use his most powerful weapon, his honeyed words upon you.
I will pull her as far away as possible while still being in the room. And say, stay over here with me for its sake.
I don't
Miss,
say anything, but I...
Miss Evil Lynn, was it?
Eveline Nanya. My pleasure. And I curtsy.
Here, take this. And she reaches into her pocket and presents you with a wooden stake.
Oh, handy. I will hand it to Aldrich.
Ashlyn looks at Aldrich and says, or leans in, kind of whispering, why is she walking around with a stake?
Smart, if you ask me.
Very good question. Perhaps our hosts will have the answer. I will approach the individual.
As soon as you start moving towards him, be careful, Aldrich. Something isn't right.
Yes, and you're coming with me.
I mean, of course. I'm just saying, be careful.
Right.
Ashley mentions as they're walking up, she was just tied to a bed, left there. Now she has a stake, and here's all of us about to walk up to someone who she somehow knew was resting.
Still over in the corner with her, protecting her.
Yeah, we're here now. And yeah, cautiously. Clearly a little bit nervous, but trying to hide it as he gets closer. Yeah, just approach the man.
Man is not even breathing. He's unmistakable from a corpse as you approach.
Ashley standing a little bit back, but right close enough with the group, kind of cautiously thinking, what she needs to throw, should she.
Are you the Count?
No response.
Thurston, what's your read on him?
Like my usual.
Is this an actual corpse, or is this one of us playing dead?
Well, I find it's probably rather easy for us to play dead, but I can check still.
Ashley looks at everyone and says, this is way too easy. This is way too easy, guys, for someone
Do you
this
want-
old.
When did he sleep on it?
Shiv, do you want me to just roll the discipline?
Yes, please.
Now it works.
You
We
will
were
the
pretty sure the
vitae
guy's a vampire.
around your body, and as you stare upon the resting body, you find it is hollow. You don't sense any kind of beast, but you aren't sure if it is because he is in torpor, or because he actually has no beast.
But he's not breathing, and I don't sense a beast. So,
All right.
I would just stab him.
No. I'm going to reach out and touch his face.
It is cold to the touch.
Ashley looks at Aldrich and says, what if that isn't him, but looks like him?
That's what I'm about to find out. Although can I do that with flesh crafting? I don't know if there's a way for me to tell if something's been flesh crafted. Maybe manipulating the form, getting a feel for the form, can tell if it is. This is not its original
No.
state or not.
But I think
Poking.
I don't think that would count because there is I think there's something I'm not sure if it was Sense of Beast or the other one that's in Aura Specs that allows you to read auras that would directly tell you this sort of information.
It's in Auspex.
Well, one way to be for sure. I know he's not a wall Thurston, but perhaps I will use the stake and just sort of poke a hole in him, see if he bleeds.
Poke a hole
Fully
in him
stake him.
was actually my Native American name.
Jesus.
At this point, Ashley takes about 2 steps back while Thurston's getting ready to do this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Aldrich was the one poking.
Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
just sort of, I'll just in the arm, just sort of
Drawing
jab
blood,
the,
so you
grab
lick
the
it.
stake in to see if it even does draw blood.
You jamming the stake in.
Just the pointy end. I mean, not just just sort of
using
pushing
the
it
pointy
into
end of
the
your wood inside of the body.
Yeah,
Just the tip.
Yeah.
exactly. Just the tip until I get a reaction.
Yeah. Aldrich forces his wood through the body, resting on the slab.
I gotta quit this group. I've been with this group.
You know what
dragging
you
me
signed
down.
up for when you volunteered.
Us.
No.
We're corrupting him.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
It's a stark contrast from his own games, which are really good and really serious.
No.
And we're what you do in the shadows. What we do.
The wooden stake pierces through the flesh. No blood appears, but a cold chill runs through the room and blows the candles out. The body upon the altar begins to deflate like a balloon losing air. Princess Alice shoves Eveline aside. Enemies revealed, it seems. Thank you for showing yourselves. You will find my love, Vlad, is not here, and won't be here again, and has gone into the night, away from your sight for the time being, until he sees fit to reveal himself once more. And it is my pleasure and my honour to defend him this night. And now I give you but one more task. And she unsheathes a small, simple dagger and charges at Eveline.
Do you? I scream.
Okay. Do your much blast beat thing, and she's going to be doing brawn strength.
Really?
Apparently, yeah.
I'm a real. Right there alone.
Okay. Sticking with it?
Do I have a choice?
That's true.
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you? Oh, yes.
Kind of.
Yes, you do. Thanks, Aldo.
Ah, it's even worse.
Yeah, thanks, Aldo.
Worst bit is he knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll go with
Yes,
your
the
first
future.
roll. And as you were the defender, it's
Which
going to go
was
to
6.
Princess Alice,
Yeah.
who charges forth at you and manages to get off a swiping blow across your shoulder and inflicts whole one superficial damage to you.
Would I be going out of turn if I called Mr. Cuddles?
Yeah, I'd say that was going to cost you a turn.
Okay.
Because Mr. Cuddles is ferocious. Who's next?
I'll toss I'll just put the stake in Thurston's hands. I'll hold it down, you stick out the pointy end. And I will go to grapple her. Pull her off of Eveline.
Strength. Roll. And all she can do is
It'll be
dodge.
rousing. Ten. Messy.
2. Crappy. Sticking with it? I mean,
I guess I could get rid of the meh. I'm okay with this being messy though.
yeah.
So let's stick with it.
Okay. Aldrich strides forth, attempting to restrain and grasp Princess Alice. He doesn't know his own strength, though, unfortunately, and ends up in the huge kerfuffle, pressing her entire body against the floor and accidentally breaking her neck, killing her.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't be messy.
However,
That's that.
you do not receive any stains for this.
I'm less worried about stains and more worried about what Mithras will think.
Yeah, you look up after essentially killing her, and Thurston's chewing on the pointy end of the stake, like a nervous person chewing on like a pencil. That's not going to look good.
Ashley just raises her hand to her mouth, starts taking some steps back, Well, no, this isn't good.
I thought she was one of us. Guess she is not. Ashley, would your master be more upset with a dead Alice or an embraced Alice?
You are not going to.
I think it might be well past the time to be able to do that.
She's bleeding out right now, so now's the chance. Ashley, what is... You know Mithras. What would he want in this situation? Because I'm not about to get on the wrong side of him.
Between Eveline and Thurston, which of you is closest to the body?
Probably me. No, she.
Eveline was just
No,
attacked.
she was attacking.
That's true.
Yeah, she was attacking
Eveline.
me. So
Intelligence and investigation, please. Would you like success at cost?
maybe.
Do it. We need this, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Eveline, showing absolutely no mercy or care, is overcome by her own kleptomania and begins searching the corpse of the dead princess. As she does so, she feels no guilt, but feels as if something almost important ebbs away into the ether. You take one humanity stain. As you rummage your way through her belongings, you find a small note addressed to her. It's written in a very, very upmarket calligraphy font. You can just about read it. And it is addressed to Alice, saying that he is sorry that her blood is too thin to be able to complete the task ahead and embrace 7 more in his name.
I think you can turn her.
I did sense something when you asked me to look earlier.
Right. Well, what's important here is that we all remember before we came inside, I said whatever happened to her is not my fault. We were all there. We all saw that and heard it. So, actually, here you are. Lift Alice's body towards her.
Well, I guess we have to take the body back. We can't just leave it here.
No.
I think you should return the body to Mithras, and I believe... and the good news is, he wanted information. We have a lot of information now. We know what his plan for her was. We know where he's been. And I think it's a better scenario that she's no longer a bride of his. This was the more merciful fate.
We still need to find where Dracula is. That was the original purpose of our task.
Start looking around the room.
You'll find nothing particularly of interest, although it does keep catching your eye that instead of seeing Ashley's appearance in the mirror, you see blurred lines, as if she was permanently out of focus.
I don't think there's anything here.
Ashley
No,
walks
I
around
believe-
looking as well, trying to find something.
The
I
same.
think this might be a dead end.
You'll spend an inordinate amount of time in front of the mirror, desperately trying to focus and see your own reflection, but never being able to see it properly.
That business with the mirror, is that normal? Or you?
It's
Some
normal for
sort of
some
magic
things.
mirror.
It's normal for some things, for some people.
So is this you or is this the mirrors doing? 'Cause I've seen magic mirrors before.
I'll take
It's
a look in the
a
mirror.
it's a somber thing, Aldrich. They have issues with mainly mirrors is the main thing I've heard of, but I can imagine any form of image of themselves other than the real one gets disrupted by their beast, I think. Not entirely sure how to explain it. I wasn't listening to half of what the Nosferatu that explained it to me was telling me, so.
It also has to do with use of light and shadows.
I'll be honest, I wish I could see myself in the mirror.
Curious.
I think you're adorable, though.
Oh,
You're
Meanwhile, I'm
such,
looking in the mirror and fixing my hair,
you're
my dress.
such a gallant man.
if you say so.
I'm at a loss of where to go from here then.
Did anybody find anything? I know along the way I saw things that we picked up off the ground, something. Is there nothing else that we have found that would lead anywhere?
I hand her the letter.
Does anyone have the ability to feel anything off of this letter?
Oh, that'd be Alistair.
Is that a thing? You can talk to letters.
Alistair can't read, so I'm not sure what he could do with the letter.
Well, Alistair can talk to dead people.
Hmm.
I can talk to animals, and you can talk to letters. It's fascinating.
That is a great idea. I'm going to use Feral Whispers, see if I can summon any mice from the area who might have seen something.
You don't need to roll for that, because that's going to be an automatic failure. Because although the mice do come to a certain point, they refuse to cross the threshold into the building.
Oh, that's interesting.
The only way I got in is because she invited me, and I point to the body.
Well, with
Just
Feral
once.
Whispers,
All of that.
it's the animals won't do anything that will like enact direct harm to themselves. Like you can't ask them to sacrifice themselves. So something's up with this building.
Does that apply to lemmings?
No.
I've had to look around and not found anything out of sorts. Correct.
Correct. The thing that's out of sorts about the house is how showy it is, yet reveals nothing about the inhabitants or anyone that owns it.
Now look around. No, that's too meta. Never mind.
I'm wondering if there'd be any point in using shadow perspective.
With how showy the house looks, can I go around, like, sliding along the walls, kind of tapping here and there to see if I can see if there's a fake wall of some kind?
Yeah, and you won't find one.
This house seems to be a means to an end, a trap of sorts. Maybe. Don't know. I'm not the one good at these things.
Ashley looks around and thinks to herself, maybe I can get something off of this? I don't know. She kind of wants to focus or tries to focus. I'm going to try shadow perspective. No idea what it's going to do, though.
Do a rouse check for me, please. Wonderful. As Ashley whirls a vitae around her body, the remainder of the coterie can see shadows enveloping her, and she slowly fades away and becomes transparent. From her perspective, she can see the echo of Vlad the Impaler, placing the body upon the altar as a lump of flesh, then carefully applying it to be an exact mirror image of him before he leaves.
Would there be anything else in the room that she would see with that, or is that the only thing that she would see?
That's all you see is that echo.
Well, if nothing else, should we get going?
We're still going to have to move the body. So we're going to have to carry the body and put it into the carriage.
Oh, that's no problem. I'll take the body out.
Couple
And,
Winston.
I think you should still deliver the body and then explain what happened, that we were attacked and whatnot. He's already made a bride.
That's fine. I can do that.
All right.
She did attack me, and my valiant knight saved me.
I was inspired by Thurston. Bring out the best of us all.
I'm honored to hear that.
Yeah, I'll carry the body out to the carriage.
Yep. I'm guessing you're going to place it in the car itself, rather than risk putting it in the trunk with Mr. Cuddles and seeing what the hell happens then.
We'll just tie it and drag it along.
I think
Everyone
Mr.
else heading
Cuddles
in?
has a lot of room in that trunk.
Everyone else heading into the carriage?
Mhm.
Okay. Anything you would wish to discuss on your carriage ride?
Oh, I also want to bring the body that was left there. Fake.
It
Oh, the
deflated
husk.
itself into a weird pile of used
That's
flesh.
right, that's right. The weird balloon thing. Never mind. Yeah, we go.
Is it folded up? Put it in your pocket.
Reinflate
Ashley
this, and it could be like
scoops
an inflatable man.
closer to Thurston again. She just scoots right up next to Thurston.
Ashley, where should we be taking Grace? The late Grace.
I say that we need, first, I'm going to have to contact someone so that they're aware of what's happened and then bring the body back. So,
Who do you need to
thinking-
contact? We'll go with you.
do you want to go and help produce this to her mother?
I'm sorry, you work for the Queen.
That is her
I'm
daughter.
not scared of Mithras. He's scared of the queen.
I mean, you don't have to tell the queen what happened here. I'm saying you need to tell your Mithras.
Correct, but that is her daughter, correct?
Doesn't the queen already think she's dead?
Ashley just looks at you and she does not answer.
Wait, is she dead in this year? I'm assuming we would know that.
Queen Victoria is very much
Alice,
alive.
Not the queen, the
Oh,
Alice.
we met Alice.
Oh, Alice. At the very
1878.
least, yeah, Thurston knows.
Oh, so she's already assumed to be dead.
Yeah, she's been dead for like 14 years.
Oh,
Case of diphtheria. See, so much education here.
yeah, this is a learning stream. Right, yeah, no, she's long gone. Why remind the queen that her daughter's dead? Why do anything with the queen? We shouldn't be involved in that. That's dangerous.
Unless. This is
Ashley
something
just
we would-
looks out the window. Well, they're going.
You're the one who said Mithras isn't interested in Alice's well-being, so yeah, at your mercy on what to do with her.
Wouldn't telling the queen be a masquerade breach?
Unless she already knows.
One of us. No, she goes out.
That's not our decision.
But I imagine, Evelyn, that if this is a matter that involves Mithras, I feel like certain aspects of the masquerade can be pushed and nudged in the right direction.
And we would do so at Mithras's request.
Right, I'm not gonna make any moves until I'm told to do so. It's a very sensitive matter.
That's how I feel as well, but this is a very interesting thing to come up from the whole situation.
Right.
I did not know that it spread through the royal family this far. Those were the words I was trying to look for.
Let's just say this. A deal was made.
That's usually what does it.
I will take her to Mithras myself. But there's more people involved in this than you're aware of.
You enlighten us then. It's the least you could do.
So we're the scapegoat. We weren't ever actually meant to do anything. We just need someone to pin this on.
No. Basically, a deal was made. And she was not exactly mortal.
Oh,
the
no,
deal-
Kristen wouldn't know that.
The deal was reached between Mithras and another person. And there was some blood exchange that was done as part of this deal. That's why Alice was so important to get back.
How angry is he going to be that Alice is dead?
Not sure. I know he will be angry. As to how angry, I did not know.
Right, that is I think that's good enough motivation for me. Ask you one more thing, Ashley. I'm gonna need you to remember things differently of what went on in there. And I would like to attempt a forgetful mind on her.
Show me forgetful mind, please.
Oh,
Ashley, intelligence and resolve. Aldrich, manipulation and
we gotta
dominate.
rouse
please.
this because this is dangerous.
Gain a hunger. And then gain a hunger after you cast the power. Ashley, would you like to rouse the blood as well?
Yes, because I will resist it.
Do a rouse check for me, please. You also gain a hunger.
What am I
roll.
rolling now?
Intelligence and resolve, please. Aldrich, manipulation and dominate.
Oh, no,
Okay.
There's a lot on the line here.
Mhm.
The odds just increased. Yep, that's going to be a success then for Aldrich.
Oh, thank God.
Oh! You didn't apply your bonus high. Check. Okay, Ashley, do the same roll again with a +3 modifier. Would you like to re-roll? You can re-roll 2 of those dice if you so wish.
So you just put the 3. It's not a +3, right? You just
Correct.
put the number
you
3.
just put three.
Yeah.
That worked. What
There's
you want
enough
to do
die there. You definitely got it.
is underneath your willpower bar, press the WP reroll button, and you want to reroll 2 dice.
Yeah, it'll auto put 3, but just change it to 2.
Just re-roll dice and then just put 2.
WP reroll on
Right.
your character sheet, and then 2 dice. Right. That's going to Aldrich for sure then.
Okay. Essentially, you will be wrong. The only difference that happened was that Alice attacked Ashley instead. Ashley defended, but unfortunately broke Alice's neck in the process. So just that moment is how she will remember it.
It's all Ash.
It was still an accident. She remembers her saying she was a bride of Dracula and this and that. It was an all accident, but it was her accident, not Aldrich's accident. Just in case the boss man gets mad.
This.
And with that, bring this week's London by Gaslight to an end.
What an episode.
So thank you all
Wow.
for coming.
Can I have a one moment real quick?
Yeah.
When we get back to the house for the morning, I'll stay back real quick with Evelyn after Aldrich goes in the house, and I just go, Aldrich was talking a lot about blooming relationships, and he was trying to imitate me a lot tonight. I think there's something going on between him and you. You might want to keep an eye out. And before she even reacts, I leave the carriage.
Trying to Uno reverse me.
Finds
He
it.
fancies me, duh.
Thank you, Tirirana. Like that name,
Yeah,
Tirirana.
thank you.
Thank you all for coming and watching, and thank you to our players. Bully, who we are still extremely privileged and honoured to have over from Tablegoth. Who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do? Do you do things?
I sully myself here, getting drugged down into your humor and participating in it. That's what I do now. That's just who I am now.
Drugged
Apparently.
down.
I'm Bully. I have a channel called Table Goth. Go to our YouTube. We got vampire stuff there.
Very, very good stuff and very, very useful tutorial videos. Because that core book... are Renegade Studios redoing the core book? Or just... do we know anything about that?
I don't know. The only
It'd be
confirmed
all
things
the
right now
same
is
words, just reorganized.
Yeah.
Inquisition and Sabat. There's been talks about a player's handbook for a minute.
Yeah, the Legendary Player's Handbook.
Yeah. We'll see.
Eveline, who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do? Do you do things?
I do things. I am. I said
Do-do.
I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts, including on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all those things. Also, if you need any graphic design or promotional products, check out gibopromo.com and stay tuned for my future projects.
Thurston. Thirsty boy. Thurston. Who are you? What do you do?
I-
Do you do things? Let's find out.
You can find me everywhere practically at NitroTypeAt. And if you need graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
Do we have a shout out for our lovely guest?
Oh, sadly, no. Sorry about that. I can go grab her Twitter.
You go grab the Twitters. And Sykeshire, thank you for joining us as Ashley this week. Might be, hopefully, if availability allows. Might see you next week as well. But who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I do a lot of stuff. Not always good. I am Sykeshire, and I stream, and I do a lot of roleplay on Discord, and I have a YouTube channel, and I'm on Twitter, and Banu Beast has been my calling. So that is me.
Excellent. Again, thank you all for coming. We had some new names who stuck around and gave us all llama drama, which is really good and exciting. So thank you. We will be back this Friday, if you're in the Western time zone, for Oxford by Night. And then again, we'll be here next week for London by Gaslight. Maybe in
At a different
Astoria.
day.
Yes, different day. We'll be a day later next week for London by Gaslight.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot.
Noscaven will be hopefully returning with his thirsty fans. And hopefully Tina, if he has air conditioning, will be here. Hopefully, before that...
Oh, Lord, I hope he has air conditioning in a week.
And hopefully before that, if we can get things together, we'll be playing something during the week and chatting about Vampire. In the meantime, we will go a-raiding on the marvellous Smartlet Games, who have been good enough to find me a player for Oxford by Night, which will be revealed on the night. And of course, we can't go until Bully says a line.
Have a good night. You'd almost forgot.
That was sweet.